If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
A child shall lead them to buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
All right, you guys. We have... Whoops, we just finished Agony and Ecstasy.
Yeah.
Also, Mojo, in between on the commercial, I called my dad
Oh,
to have him listen to the song and give it a rating from 1 to 10. So I'll let you know if he responds. Okay. So let's see. What do we
Somewhere in Time by the band Savatage.
Okay. Tracks 14, 15, and 16. He said, Mojo, our DJ, says, here is where the rubber meets the road. You've probably at least guessed by now this record is about recovery and everything that goes along with that process. The guilt and the ability to speak forgiveness from others, but also to be able to forgive oneself. So it's not surprising that these last 3 songs will have some heavy religious overtones to them. Oh. Don't talk about your religion on your channel. I'll unsubscribe. They'll have some heavy religious overtones to them, and that may turn some people off, that's a quote from the comment section. Sorry, sad face. I consider myself to be an agnostic. I believe we are all on a journey, and that journey doesn't end when our life here does. But I haven't the slightest idea what comes next. Well, we'll all find out soon enough. Even though I'm not a believer, I love these last 3 songs, and they still give me comfort in a way. Now, as far as how the story ends, these last 3 songs do not really match up with how the story in the linear note ends. It's almost as if some songs are missing from this story. For brevity's sake, I will paraphrase how the story ends. Wandering the streets, tempted to return back to his old life of addiction, DT is about to give up when he notices a crowd gathering around something on the sidewalk. He makes his way closer and sees a man collapsed against the wall of an old tenement building. It's obvious that the man has been living on the streets a long time. His skin is oily and black from lack of washing. It's clear this man is dying. The smell is so bad that even the police will not approach him.
Damn.
Forgetting his own problems, DT approaches the man, kneels down and takes his hand, letting him know that he is not alone in his final moments. The man looks at DT in the eyes gratefully as he takes his final breaths. DT stands to walk away when he sees the spectral figure of a child rise out of the man's body. Nobody else standing around sees this. The child walks into the tenement building, and DT follows. DT follows the figure to the roof and finds the figure on the ledge, staring up at the stars. DT realizes that this is the spirit of the child that the old man was, and is praying for the old man's soul and asking forgiveness for a wasted life and a lost dream. The child turns to DT, smiles, and fades away. And for the first time in a long time, DT finds himself at peace. The end. The last 3 songs convey the emotion of the final events of the story, but not the story itself, which has always bothered me a little bit. It's like watching a movie and you get distracted by a phone call or something at the start of the 3rd act and return to it at the final moments just before the credits start rolling. And you ask yourself, how the hell did we get here? That's happened to me so many times. Anyway, that is Streets. Despite its imperfections, I do consider it a masterpiece of songwriting and storytelling. And here are the final 3 songs, which only make 7 songs in the stream. So fear not, there will be an 8th song. Okay, so we have Heal My Soul up next.
Okay, track number 14. I'm not sure that this story is as disjointed as he thinks it is. Because the previous song made a lot of sense.
Well, we'll see.
Isn't Somewhere in Time the next song? The last song we did was Agony and Ecstasy, right? Right?
What do you want? Yes.
So
Agony and Ecstasy. Now we're Heal My Soul.
So it should be Somewhere in Time, right?
Did I just say Somewhere in Time? No, Heal My Soul.
I probably did this in the wrong.
Heal My Soul is next.
Heal My Soul is next. Okay. I don't even have that one up. I didn't even download that one.
Oh.
How did I miss that one?
I don't know.
That's what happened.
Okay.
Okay, well, then keep talking. Keep talking to the people.
Yes. I'm going to text my father and say, don't forget to send me a score. 1 through 10.
You are the worst.
I'm not the worst.
You're the worst.
If I don't push, I won't know.
Why would you push into that if that's gonna mess him up?
Because I don't think it's gonna mess him up.
Oh, so you're the arbiter of that. Okay. Well, continue then, as you were.
Wow.
Talk to the people.
Okay. I'm pulling up the comment section. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this album. This has been really fun. Yeah, I was talking to Dorian because you know how Dorian is. It's like talking to an old man sometimes. So I'm like, Dorian, our stream was really good last night. He was like, oh, really? Well, what was so good about it? And I'm like, I don't know. It just had a lot. Then I got interrupted by screaming children. So then the conversation was over. But I was going to tell him how it was like therapy. I did say that. I finished that sentence. I said it was like therapy.
It's a therapy type.
It was a very, very good. It was a very good stream. I really enjoyed it. And I got good feedback from it too, from a lot of different people. So that's
These
pretty
guys,
cool.
Yeah, this band is
so Mojo, you've pulled something
No.
very unique together here. Anyway, so we have, whoops, let me just put that on silent. Okay, so tomorrow, we have this stream today, then tomorrow we might have tomorrow is tentative, we're going to have a stream, but we have a stream on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Thursday we have one at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we also have another one on Friday. So we've got a lot of streams this week, so
we shall see.
Keep your eyes open for those streams if you're interested.
Savatage, Heal My Soul.
Yep.
Let's go.
I've been waiting, long forgotten, shipwrecked on a distant shore. Am I drifting? No more wanted, floating outward evermore. All the dreams that I have harbored in the labyrinth of my soul, gone forever, not discarded, only sleeping till they're home. In the graveyard of my heart now sleep the years that I've long sought. For their markers, is there nothing? Only ghost. I can't Father, hear me. I'm tired. Shall I waken in thy home and hold me closer? I am trying, sweet Lord Jesus, heal my soul.
Whoa. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes like we'll make commentary and people are like, why are you always bringing your religion into this?
That's why I said that at the beginning.
Like, what am I supposed to do with this song, dear listener? What do you want me to do with this song?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. There's nothing that can be done. Okay, Mojo, he answered back.
What did he say?
Did not fare well. Okay, so he said,
okay,
it's not my style.
Give the people an update.
Okay.
About what's going on.
So I messaged my dad. I sent him the link to the last song, which was Agony and Ecstasy. And I asked him if he liked it or whatever. He said it's not his style. It's a little bit too messy sounding. I like Southern rock. ZZ Top is my favorite. Blue Oyster Cult. And he said he gave that song a 4. Okay. He said he likes White Snake. Is that a band?
White Snake is a band.
Yeah, I'd like to know which song.
They're
I don't want to push it too far.
They're a what do you call it? They're like a hair band. All right.
Okay.
So this song. Go ahead.
Feel
Soraya.
My Soul. This one had like a really like kind of. It was sad feeling.
Look at sarcasm. I actively imagine being here. I'm gonna have to shoot a video on the active imagination stuff.
I know. Sarcast. I'm hoping you end up putting some drums to some of the stuff we're doing. I really like the way you play drums. No pressure though. If you're too busy or you're not interested, because I don't know if you guys have had conversations or if you've even said anything to him.
We've had our own conversation. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Can we get back to our regular scheduled program?
Okay, I've been waiting, long forgotten, shipwrecked on a distant shore. I am drifting, no more wanted, floating outward evermore. Ugh. Never mind.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I can't really say all of it. I love the word evermore.
Yeah.
I think it's like it just carries so much to it. But then every time I'm like, well, I really like that, then it's too similar to a name that you have in your phone.
Oh my god.
So then it ruins it, and I'm like, well, there you have it. All the dreams that I have harbored in the labyrinth of my soul, gone forever, not discarded, only sleeping till they're whole. In the graveyard of my heart now sleeps the years that I've long sold. For their markers is there nothing, only ghosts I cannot hold. Father, hear me, I am tired. Shall I waken in thy home? Hold me close now, I am trying. Sweet Lord Jesus, heal my soul.
That was like those lyrics to Like a Stone from Chris Cornell. In your house I long to be, room by room, patiently I wait for you now like a stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's look, man, it's the album is continuously confronting us with the fact that
I'm sorry. He just said listen to Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. Didn't we just do that one?
and we just did, yeah. So
Okay.
Sori's talking to her dad. Her dad is giving us recommendations for a video. But for a small fee.
Okay.
And little does he know we already did it, so all he had to do is wire us the money. We can send him the video immediately. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just, you were gonna say something, but I guess
I was gonna say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
But go ahead.
The ending of the song, like, just, I mean, obviously the lead up to the ending, just a really, the lyrics, they just kind of put you in a certain place. And like, he talks about, you know, the long forgotten shipwrecked on a distant shore, but then he also talks about having dreams within his soul. And then like, it's sort of this question, like, to me, it has a question mark after it on the lyrics here, but it was sort of like a statement question, because he's not sure. Like when he says, gone forever, question mark, not discarded, question mark, only sleeping till they're whole. Like, to me, it's like he doesn't know. Like, he's not really clear on what's happening, or if that stuff is lost.
Dreams are gone forever? Because what's gone forever would be his dreams, right? Scroll up.
The dreams that he's harbored in the labyrinth of his soul.
Right.
Gone forever, not discarded, only sleeping till they're whole. Like, just
in the graveyard of my heart now.
Yeah, sleep the years I've long sold. Like, it's just like a really, like, it has a sort of like a depth to it, because it's somebody who's at the end, and I think that, you know, we all throw out a lot of bullshit, you know what I mean? And then, like, there are times where there's no room for that. And it's like, you know, and I think that that's why there's that Bible verse that says it's better to go to the house of mourning than the house of partying. Like, there's that sort of idea. Like, when you go to a party, it's like, yeah, turn it up, you know, and you're not thinking about the end. But when you go to, you know, say a funeral, or, you know, like when I was sitting there, like my grandmother had just passed away recently, and I had gone in to see her, and it was like in that moment, like, my face was reflected in hers, because I am 2 generations from her. So I see similarities in her facial structure that I also have. And like, seeing her laying there and me standing there, and like, I love her. She's my grandmother, but she's not there, but she's there. And then, you know, she was wearing this very, very soft, like, velour nightgown. And when I put my hand on her shoulder to, you know, say goodbye, like, she had been gone for, you know, a little while, and obviously she was in a cold room, and like, her body itself was so cold that it pulled, it wasn't just that it was cold to the touch, but it felt like it pulled the warmth from my hand. And it didn't warm her. Like, you would be okay with pulling the warmth if it was going to warm the person that you love, but like, to feel that warmth pull, and there's nothing that you can give, and there's no one there to receive, really, it was like it was hard, you know? And like, but it was just, the moment was so real, you know, and your family is there, and people are sad, but then you look at the person and you're like, but that can't be it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we're Christians, and I do believe that there is something after that. But even sometimes, and I think it's because of our friends on the channel and stuff, like, sometimes, like, I jump, like, I look through both panes of glass. Like, okay, this is my reality, that she has somewhere that she's going after this. But then to jump into the other reality and say, what if I didn't know? What if it was only questions, and you're, you know, so I don't know, like, that, just the way that he's putting out this song, it doesn't sound like he's super clear on it, but yet at the same time, like, he has the, Father, hear me, I am tired. Shall I waken in thy home? Like, that, to me, I really like that part. Because he doesn't know. And I mean, you can know, but I know that there's a lot of people that they don't know. But at the same time, I mean, he's here, he's praying. I don't know. It's just a hold me close now. I am trying. Sweet Lord Jesus, heal my soul. Like, he's had a long and hard life, and you kind of journey with him through the album, which you wouldn't if you heard the songs like all sporadically. You just wouldn't feel it. But because we've been able to kind of like journey with him, then when you get to this point, it's like, I don't know. There's just like there's a realness to the ending of the song. I don't know. I really, really liked that. What about you?
Yeah, it's just fascinating to me. Like, I was just watching these quantum physicists in a conference, and they're not on my team. I mean, they're not even on Hoffman or Kastrup's team. Mm-hmm. But when these experts get together, they're talking about the various problems with physicalism, one of them being the hard problem of consciousness, the other being the prevalence of NDEs. I was having a discussion with somebody, and they were like, I said, how are we booting up consciousness from dead matter? And they said, well, we know that the brain generates consciousness. I said, no, we don't know that. There's a correlation between the brain.
Yeah.
The most you could say is that the brain is a filter of consciousness.
Yeah.
But you can't say that the brain generates consciousness. There's no proof of that, scientifically speaking. And then we started talking about the hard problem of consciousness. It was clear, like he did, So he says, okay, then why does consciousness completely cease at death? And I said, how do you know that? He says, get me evidence that consciousness doesn't cease at death. So I you know how I am. I posted the peer-reviewed article about these NDEs, and the guy had 9 categories for near-death experiences. And then the conclusion from the expert was that we currently have no explanation physically relative to the brain about these experiences with these people, because they were dead. The brainwaves were little to none. They were gone.
Right.
And they're describing things that this is the peer-reviewed.
Yeah.
They didn't say that means God exists. That all it says is we don't currently have a physical explanation for this.
This is just what we found.
This is what we found. We don't have a physical explanation based on the current assumptions that you have. So, there's so many evidences of this. People have the most vivid lifelike experiences on DMT. But when we look at the brain scan, the brain operations are actually almost completely shut down. And yet, people are having these amazing, very detailed, graphic, almost tactile experiences on DMT while their brain function is actually slowing down.
Yeah.
And the theory is, that's why the filter theory came about, was because what it was saying was actually the point of brain and brain activity is to filter out those psychedelic experiences. So when you lower the brain's activity to do that, and then you ingest these experiences, the brain doesn't have the ability to filter that out. So that's what you're seeing. So it's actually the other ways that your brain, whatever that is functioning actually to separate reality for you, so that you can survive in this physical environment. Because again, you're evolved for fitness payoffs. You're not evolved to see the truth.
Right.
And so obviously, if you listen to people on DMT, and they tell you they've seen all these hexagonal shapes and everything like that, and if that was all you saw, you'd never eat, you'd never reproduce, you'd never do anything, you wouldn't be able to move. Actually, Hoffman did an equation where entropy would basically melt you into primordial goo if you could see everything, actually, because there'd be no way to balance out your. Anyway,
fascinating.
Long story short, my point is we can't solve the basic issue of consciousness. So how, even if I was an atheist, I would never be able to say for sure that there isn't consciousness after death. Because if I don't know where consciousness originated, how can I say where it ceased then? You know what I'm saying? So this whole song only makes sense in a different way. It doesn't make sense in a physicalist worldview, but the more and more I look at science, the more I'm seeing, like, I don't really feel like most of us are actually physicalists in the first place. Like, we say things that don't match that, but this is an unbelievable song. That's a theory that the brain is actually mainly excluding things. Yeah.
That's so wild.
So, yeah, because, so if you look at it from that perspective, you have to be more open-minded about what is happening after death and before birth.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You have to have some epistemic humility and realize that, okay, maybe the Christians are crazy and religious people are crazy, but since we don't know the basic things about, we don't even know why chocolate tastes like chocolate. So okay, so you might say that Christians are crazy, but it's also equally as crazy to say definitively consciousness ends after death. The math is telling us that there's a 99.9999% chance that that's not the case. Go ahead, what were you saying?
Well, every time that you hear these people like kind of break down their experience with like DMT or any of that stuff, like I've never heard anybody like it seems like that they have an experience that makes them feel like, you know, they're part of a collective, that they are part of something that's bigger than themselves. But I've not heard anybody, and like they get some like personal growth from it, but I've not heard anybody say, therefore I should procreate.
Right.
Nobody's ever said that. And we've seen like a lot of stuff.
Right.
So then that kind of goes to that theory that like if the brain didn't like, you know, X out some of that stuff,
Right.
like
It's a filtration system. Yeah.
yeah, it's just very interesting.
You'd be a sitting duck for a lion. You'd never invent
Yeah, but
things.
maybe that's part of like the attraction with, you know,
DMT?
no, the attraction with the opposite sex. You know, a lot of times when people explain, like if a guy is explaining what he's attracted to with a woman, it has a lot to do with shapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like maybe those shapes are kind of basic and boring compared to the shapes that you see on DMT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like Kastrup is saying. It's like if you look at just raw, plain physical science, nothing you see here is actually what you see. Like he was saying, the stars are beyond, your brain is beyond the stars, because the colors that you see, everything that you see are all supplied to you by your brain, supposedly. You know, I know you were having a hard time with the idea that we were hallucinating colors.
Yes,
None of these
very
colors
much.
exist, scientifically speaking. There are so many things that are true scientifically that are totally counterintuitive. I feel like I'm sitting still right now, but I'm traveling at thousands of miles an hour.
I know, yeah.
It looks like the Earth is flat. It's not. It looks like the sun moves up and down. It doesn't. So, like, almost everything we see phenomenologically is wrong. But then we say, these angles and these mathematical equations called physical matter, that's real, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Anyway, I really like this song a lot. This is one of my favorites, although this could have been... I gotta tell you, I don't know if this is a criticism or a compliment, but this could have easily have been some hymn in an old lady church. Like...
Oh, you mean what it sounded like?
Yeah, the sound,
Yeah.
the cadence, and everything. Like, and that's not necessarily disrespectful. I'm just saying, for a rock band of rock enthusiasts in their 20s to write a song like
I know.
this, to me, says they've got a hell of a lot of range.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of
Yeah.
range, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, range and discipline and mature understanding of how a song should be done going by subject matter. What do you give it?
This is 9.6 for me.
Oh, 9.6. Okay. I think it's 9.7.
Okay, guys, that was a pretty lengthy conversation, but W fail, we have more on the way. More Savatage coming up after the commercial break. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Big shout out to the big homie DJ Mojo. Check it out. You know what's so funny? You guys thought I was pointing at that picture. In reality, I'm just pointing at nothing in the air in the real world. Here's another example.
What?
All right, guys.
What picture?
We shall return.
Oh, this up here?
Or the scrolling letters.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It
Hey,
looks
where's
like-
this picture?
It looks like I'm touching them, but I'm really not. Commercial break. We shall return.